ask you the question, how old are you? And if you didn't know how old you are, how old do you feel? How old would you like to be? And as you get older chronologically, is it possible that you can stay young physiologically? Now, I'm puffing and I'm sweating and I've just lifted heavy and boxed the bag and sprinted on the treadmill, and I love being healthy, fit and strong as an old lady. And it's really interesting how many people have given me a pretty hard time about saying, Rowie, why do you keep saying that you're old? Well, and I'll just go back to my personal experience. When I was 15, 20, even 30, 40 even, I thought that 50, 60 was extremely old people. When you look at most 50, 60, 70-year-old people, they look old, they act old, they do old people stuff, they wear old-fashioned clothes, they're just old and getting older fast. The medical professionals will say the same thing. We live a peak, and this really is embarrassing, we peak at about 35 apparently, and then it's supposedly downhill from there for most people, for the average person. Now, the reason I hate the word average is it's somewhere between the worst and the best. So some people decline much quicker than 35, 40, and I'm sure you've seen them. There's people who are 25 who act old, who seem old already. They're already whinging and moaning and complaining about getting older. There's other people at the other end, the ones that excite me, and I always tell this story because it's my favourite story of every travel I've ever been on, and I've travelled around the world a lot. But we went to the Blue Zone in Sardinia, an island just off Italy, because we were searching for, it's one of the places in the world where the oldest people live. There's more people over 100 in 5 different places in the world, the Blue Zones, and one of them is Sardinia. So we go there searching for old people. I found chronologically old people, but there was no old physiological people. I met a gentleman who was 103, and I love telling this story. He was at the pub with his mates, and they were all somewhere between the age of 80 and 103. They were having a glass of wine, they'd had a pizza for dinner, they were smoking a cigar, they'd played soccer in the afternoon, and they were all full-time, still working on their farms. The 103-year-old was still a full-time farmer. He was muscly, he was upright, he had good posture, big smile on his face. He was amazing. And through an interpreter, he said this gorgeous thing that has really made my passion and enthusiasm and drive and commitment to stay young. And I hope this helps you as well. He said through the interpreter, please tell the blonde lady that she's very pretty, but I'm going home to make love to my wife. Now, 103, apart from the fact that most people are dead at 103, most of the people that I talk to over 40, 50, 60 are not having sex that often. And for a 103-year-old to still be making love to his wife, I just think he's talk about quality of life. Now, there's a lot of people who live old, they live to 80 or 90, but they live in a retirement village or a hospice, they're full of drugs, they're full of tubes in their nose, they might be in a wheelchair or in a walking frame, they don't have great quality of life. It seems that we have great quality of life till about 45 and then it's all downhill from there. The average person. Well, I don't want to be the average, how about you? So the worst is younger than that. The best is you can live to 100, 110, 100, and the longevity experts are saying now that we're getting close to being able to live to 140, 150. But what's the point of living to 150 if you've got poor quality of life? If you can't make love to your partner, if you can't play your sport, if you can't do the things that you love. So this is why I'm so excited and why I love sharing how old I am. I'm a very old lady. I've lived on the planet nearly 6 decades. And I love sharing that because I'm fitter and stronger and healthier, wiser, better than when I was 20. And I was bloody fit and strong when I was 20. But shouldn't that be how life progresses? Because we're getting older and more life experience, and because our muscles and bones are getting stronger, and because our brain is getting stronger, shouldn't that be the outcome, that we get better as we get older, not decrepit, weak, frail, and end up sick and diseased? Now, of course, there are people who are sick and diseased at a young age. I'm now talking about lifestyle diseases, not bad luck ones. But the lifestyle diseases like coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, depression, obesity, those horrible things that happen because we are inactive. And I keep sharing this very interesting, it's like a cartoon that's going around on the internet at the moment. A person goes to the doctor, the doctor tests them because they're not feeling well, and yes, they've got high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar levels, they're overweight. The doctor says you've got a stack of lifestyle diseases. And the patient says, should I change my lifestyle? And the doctor says, no, here, take a pill. And there's a stack of pills for all of those things. But I'm very proud to stand here in front of you as an old lady who's never been to the hospital. The last time I went to the doctor, I can't remember. And just as a fun side note, the last time I went to the doctor was when we first moved to New Zealand. So I'm going to say it was 15 years ago. And I ended up counselling that GP. It was a woman, and I ended up counselling her on how to be healthy, fit and strong, and she was a GP. I've been to some doctors' offices since then because I've gone to do professional chats for doctors, for medical professionals. And they all share with me that people are just getting old and fat and weak sooner. We've got children with adults' diseases, and I use the example of type 2 diabetes. That used to be called age-onset diabetes. Old fat people got type 2 diabetes. Now we've got young children with type 2 diabetes. They are all choices. Coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, depression, most cancers, cardiovascular disease, most of the things that are killing us now are things that we choose because we eat poorly and we don't get puffed and lift heavy. Well, I'm in my gym this afternoon. I've gotten really puffed. I'm sweating as I love being a young, old woman. I'm chronologically old and love being chronologically old, but I'm physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually young, fit, healthy and strong. I'm getting older and wiser, not just older. How about you? Super duper doo, how are you? I hope you are amazing for the rest of your life. Woohoo!